William Guy's book was an eye-opener for me because it showed me the Great Wall of yesteryear that was a little bit younger and far more complete, and I wanted to collect more Great Wall photographs. And that was possible from the mid-1990s onwards with the dawn of the internet age. But at the time, my collecting didn't have any concrete purpose to it. I wasn't using or reusing any of those images. Things began to change on the eve of the millennium, December the 31st, 1999, and I spent the momentous occasion out at my farmhouse, nestled in a village, right below a spectacular section of the Great Wall. I remember the evening very well. It was minus 23 degrees Celsius as I set off on the path leading up through the woods, aiming to be up on the wall at midnight. I'd been up that path many times before, but at dawn en route to see the sunrise. So this time, close to midnight, it looked very different. Light from Beijing silhouetted the ridgeline, and the towers up there, which have windows, were backlit, and they looked like eyes viewing my approach. And I thought how they had seen the passage of time, the arrival of 1600, 1700, 1800, 1900, and very shortly they'd see the dawn of the year 2000. And I feared what they'd witness in the next century would be detrimental. I forecast the encroachment of development, the loss of the village's vernacular architecture, and of course the disappearance of the people living within them. And it's at that moment I felt an urge to do something of lasting significance for the wall. And I decided what I should do was to implement the very simple but powerful formula of then and now rephotography to capture the changes at the wall in the previous century. By the year 2003, my Great Wall archive amounted to more than 400 photographs, and I divided it into those I knew the locations of and those that were mysteries, because the first step in rephotography is to know where to go to take the rephotograph. And among the pile of unrecognizable photographs, there was one image I was absolutely fascinated by. Here it is. It shows two towers side by side behind a body of water. And when I scrutinized the photograph, it was captioned Shanhai Guan. Shanhai Guan is where the Great Wall of the Ming reaches the Yellow Sea, but I knew jolly well those towers were not at Shanhai Guan, and besides, the terrain didn't match that of Shanhai Guan. What I tended to do with mysterious photographs was just to scan them, put them in my backpack, and then in a village I would bring them out, show them to elders, hoping that they could point me in the right direction. But this photograph was a non-starter for me. I eventually took it with me when I visited Professor Lord Javert, the eminent Great Wall expert in Beijing. And as soon as he saw it, he said to me, "Those are the sister towers of Gubeikou." I'd been to Gubeikou many times since 1987, but I'd never seen the sister towers. The search was due to begin. In this sequence, I experience a very pleasant surprise, and I stir some very precious old memories and witness a shocking and potentially catastrophic new development breaking at the foot of the Great Wall. Let's watch. I'm at Gubeikou, and this is one of the braided streams of the Chao River. And the significance of this location is this river cut a pathway through these mountains that any invader from the north would exploit. And as a result, the defences here are very, very special. This is a very unusual arrangement. Normally, watchtowers are separated by about 100 meters, but here we have two towers side by side. It's completely unique along the whole length of the Great Wall. I was itching to take a photograph because I've never seen them like this before. I first came here in 2003 with a vintage photograph taken in the 30s. And actually, I couldn't find the location. It showed two towers side by side. After about half an hour searching, I drifted into a village nearby and very fortunately found an old man. As soon as he saw the photograph, he said, "These towers are gone." I said, "Where have they gone?" He said they were bombed in the war in the 30s when China was invaded by Japan. I said, "Could you take me to the location to show me where the towers once were?" And he brought me here and I took a picture of rubble. So coming back here today and seeing these very important structures rebuilt really gives me optimism for the future of the Great Wall. She takes me back to the farm of Lu Wentai, the man who took me to the location of the sister towers so long ago. This is his house. It's here I first met him and his sons back in 2003, when he told me what he knew about the unique towers.
哦，更明白。对，哎，
改名就叫姊妹楼。都不在了，
现在不在。我刚才看了，
也震得有点裂位。
啊哈，
裂了。
累了。哦，明白明白。
Despite his passing in 2007, Chi was able to find his family. Graciously welcomed into his home by his son, Chi and I are greeted by a heartwarming sight. A new addition to the family, Lu's grandson. Seeing this little boy, I wonder how different his life by the Great Wall might be compared to his gracious grandfather, who helped me solve the mystery of the missing sister towers. What a special section of wall, filled with history and with love. But with this tourist development growing, who knows what changes will be made in the coming years. What immense changes I've witnessed over the past 15 years at Gubeikou. In my eyes, the Great Wall is a heritage landscape with four components. The wall itself at the core, then the surrounding land, then the villages on the land, and the people in the villages who live within sight of their extraordinary neighbour. And Gubeikou has all of those four components present, interacting and changing. And it's clear that the changes at Gubeikou weren't over yet.